Hello everyone, welcome to Inspire. Imagine waking up every morning knowing the world doesn't believe in you. Imagine being told this is not your place, politics is for men. Now imagine standing years later on the steps of Japan's National Diet Building, not as a visitor, not as a minister, but as the first woman to ever lead the entire nation. That's not a movie. That's the real story of Sanae Takaichi, a woman who proved that courage, hard work, and belief can break even the oldest walls. Today, we'll walk through her journey from a small town in Nara to the highest office in Japan, and you will see why her life isn't just history, it's a lesson in never giving up. Sanae Takaichi, the leader of Democratic Party, it is a historic moment because for the first time, Japan has a woman prime minister. Sanae Takaichi is now Japan's Iron Lady, very ambitious and determined. With her leadership, Japan's politics has taken a shift to the rise. She was born in 1961 in Nara Prefecture, Japan. Not into power, not into privilege, but into a simple, hard-working family. Her father worked for an automotive company affiliated with Toyota. Her mother served in the Nara Prefectural Police. Unlike many future Japanese politicians, whose backgrounds are dynastic or ultra elite, Takaichi's upbringing was grounded, disciplined, and in many ways uncommon for the core of the ruling party. Even as a young student, she was confronted barriers. Though she qualified for prestigious universities like Kahio or Waseda, her family did not support enrolling in a private university or leaving home. So she commuted 6 hours each day to attend Cobb University. She earned a degree in business administration, giving her foundational training in economics and management that would serve her later. Point to understand from long commutes and familial sacrifices, we draw hope. Success is not only about privilege, but also about making the most of what you have and showing up every day. Soon after university, Takaichi sought to broaden her view beyond local politics. She enrolled at the Matsushita Institute Government and Management, which grooms leaders, and then worked as a congressional fellow in the US for Democratic Congresswoman Pat Schroeder from 1987 to 1989. These years abroad exposed her to democratic institutions, media dynamics, and global economic political interplay experiences many of her peers lacked, and which would later give her confidence and perspective. Back in Japan, she also worked as a broadcaster and legislative aide. Point to understand. Choosing to step out of your comfort zone, looking abroad, seeking diverse experiences often unlocks growth. Takaichi did not stay content with what was comfortable. She sought exposure and learning. Takaichi first ran for Japan's House of Representatives as an independent in the 1992 election and lost. Undated, she ran again and won in 1993. That victory marked the formal start of a long political career. In 1996, she officially joined the ruling Liberal Democratic Party (LDP). Over the next decades, she would be elected repeatedly, winning about 10 times, losing only once, and served in many key ministerial posts. Point to understand: the first attempt didn't bring victory, but she persevered. A lesson: initial defeat is not final, it can become the training ground for what comes next. Takaichi's path was not without headwinds. Some in her party branded her a conservative hardliner, and her strong views on national security, gender roles, constitutional revision drew both support and controversy. Nonetheless, she held important portfolios: Minister of State for Science and Technology Policy, Innovation, Youth Affairs, and Gender Equality under the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Minister for Internal Affairs and Communications, Minister of State for Economic Security from 2022 to 2024 under Fumio Kishida. She also ran for LDP leadership twice and lost both times, but she kept her ambition alive. Point to understand: leadership isn't a straight line. Setbacks don't signal the end, they often signal readiness for the next stage. Takaichi's losses refined her resolve. Finally, in 2025, Takaichi's persistence paid off. She won the LDP leadership election and became the first woman to lead the party, and soon after the first woman prime minister of Japan. This milestone held a symbolic weight. In a nation where top political roles had been male dominated, her ascent opened doorways. She referred to in the media as Japan's Iron Lady, as regards her discipline and conservative convictions. Point to understand: when you persist long enough, you may achieve not just individual success, but shift culture and expectations. Her achievement is historic, not just for her, but for those who follow. Takaichi's leadership priorities reflect the journey she took. She emphasizes economic security, innovation, and structural resilience, shaped by her early business education background and US experience. Her personal life, caring for family members, confronting health and fertility issues, has influenced her policy focus on social support, women's health, and caregiving. In her conversation, she openly said, I have personally experienced nursing and caregiving 3 times in my life. That candid moment added a human dimension to her political identity. Point to understand: leadership found in lived experience resonates. Takaichi's policies aren't just academic, they are rooted in her story. Her journey is still unrolled, and with leadership comes new challenges, which are discussed below. Navigating a government coalition in flux and delivering on promises. Balancing tradition and reform in a society that often resists change. Ensuring that her path becomes a foundation for others, especially women, rather than just a simple achievement. Point to understand: reaching the summit doesn't mean the climb ends. It often means the responsibility deepens. Takaichi's story shows that leadership carries weight, and the true test is sustaining it. So, we can learn from Takaichi's story. Start where you are. Takaichi didn't need a heritage of political family. She started with a modest background, but big dreams. Make preparation your habit. Her education, overseas experience, early work in media all built a foundation. Embrace perseverance. She lost before she won. She ran again and again. Let your values guide, but adapt where you must. Her convictions are strong, but she also shifted tactics and roles as needed. Use your story as strength. Her personal challenges became part of her appeal and leadership approach. Lead beyond yourself. By becoming the first woman in her role, she changed choices for others. Sanae Takaichi's story is not only about becoming the first woman Prime Minister of Japan, it's about a journey defined by courage, discipline, and the willingness to evolve. As she leads her nation, the lessons of her past long modify international exposure. Early defeat, steady climb inform her present. For each of us, her story speculates. The path may be long, the climb require patience, but with purpose and persistence, you can carve your place. It may even shift the landscape for others.